I would like to see more awareness. People need to understand the connections and see how Earth observations is helping their lives.
Now to Canada, where about 1,000 wildfires continue to devastate the country.
1/3 of Pakistan remains underwater, more than a week after the deadliest floods that country has ever seen.
Authorities in Libya say thousands are dead there after a massive storm flooded coastal communities.
Today, the Earth is facing a triple planetary crisis: climate disruption, nature and biodiversity loss, pollution and waste.
Across the globe, we bear witness to this devastating crisis. But amidst all of this chaos, there is still hope, a beacon of collaboration and unity. With the support of numerous governments, businesses, and civil society organizations, the vital contributions of local communities and indigenous peoples, and the minds of thousands of dedicated scientists, we've formed a collaborative force. We are GEO, the group on Earth observations, working tirelessly to act and save our planet, bridging generational gaps and working across disciplines.
South Africa, home to the Rainbow Nation, a melting pot of cultural diversity, a country that is multilingual and multi-ethnic, where the spirit of Ubuntu reigns supreme. The stunning coastlines and dramatic mountainscapes form the backdrop for the 2023 GEO.
Testing 1 2. Okay, there it is. It's still morning.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. If I may please have your attention. I see some of our colleagues are still networking around the room. We're about to start shortly. May we kindly request everybody to just please try and find your seats, please. We're about to start shortly. May we kindly request everybody to kindly please try and find your seats. Thank you. We'll work with what we have.
Yes.
We start in 3 minutes sharp. Yeah. Everybody is here. The room is almost full. I'm happy. We can start.
Okay. Is your choir lined up?
We just need the...
Oh,
yeah? Okay.
Oh, okay. Where is the band? I have the feeling that they went...
Because I'll be moving in between. The speakers are going to be using that. So, but have you switched it on? This one? Yeah. It's working. Yeah. You want to do a test? Yeah, because we wanted to test it.
The name of the network is GEO.
Yes. Yeah, looks good.
GEO Week 2023. GEO Week 2023. It's fine. Okay.
create great solutions.
There's consensus and innovation blended together. We are expecting better coordination of the universe of initiatives that GEO encompasses.
I expect more impact. The potential is enormous. We need to help more people to unlock it. I would like to see more awareness. People need to understand the connections and see how Earth observations is helping their lives.
My expectation of the future GEO is GEO being a pillar of the EO community.
I think I'd like to see GEO take the really good work it's done over the past 20 years, look at how to upscale that.
To be able to push together these priority projects that we need to have in the region.
GEO vision for the future includes nature-based solutions, even providing more support for the activities that we're interested in doing with our community, right from space, right to the shovels on the ground.
Projects cannot move only with government funding, so we need the private organizations coming in, helping in moving things forward.
The success of GEO is in sharing capabilities, sharing knowledge. I see GEO leading the innovation.
I'd really like GEO to focus on including the academic and research constituents across the world. The second thing I want them to focus on is on that SMME development. And the third request is to continue with their strong awareness campaigns to government.
GEO should do more to let the people understand the value of GEO, especially in the developed world, where people are now trying to start to try things.
I would like GEO to continue to be the open dialogue platform that it has always been.
I wish GEO could promote the realization of the value of Earth observations in a way that no other organization can replace us.
It is crucial to continue strengthening the capacity development and explore new ways to reach even more stakeholders.
I think GEO will also be more outcome focused, really looking at impactful actions by thinking outside the box, to be more inclusive across sectors, whether it's private sector, government, academia, nonprofits. We all need to work together to leverage each one of our strengths to the benefit of all.
Together, we are stronger.
Ponte.
Now to Canada, where about 1,000 wildfires continue to devastate the country.
1/3 of Pakistan remains underwater, more than a week after the deadliest floods that country has ever seen.
Authorities in Libya say thousands are dead there after a massive storm flooded coastal communities.
Today, the Earth is facing a triple planetary crisis: climate disruption, nature and biodiversity loss, pollution and waste.
Across the globe, we bear witness to this devastating crisis. But amidst all of this chaos, there is still hope, a beacon of collaboration and unity. With the support of numerous governments, businesses, and civil society organizations, the vital contributions of local communities and indigenous peoples, and the minds of thousands of dedicated scientists, we've formed a collaborative force. We are GEO, the group on Earth observations, working tirelessly to act and save our planet. Bridging generational gaps and working across disciplines, we tackle the Earth's interconnected challenges. As the world's observers, we believe that shared, open data can truly save lives. In Uganda, local wisdom, boosted by GEO's open data and insights, has empowered farmers to ensure...
Ladies and gentlemen, we are about to start, and I'm told I must encourage you to be excited because the choir is about to wow us. Let's all look forward to the choir coming in to just set the mood and the scene for this morning as we await the choir. Any minute now, so we will allow the choir to ease us into the program, and then we have an exciting program lined up for you where our speakers are going to be sharing with you a variety of perspectives. So if you could just bear with us and give the choir a few moments. And usually, ladies and gentlemen, you know, choirs that keep their audience gently waiting like this are usually those type of choirs that are going to blow away, you know. So in this case, I don't doubt that the choir is going to do exactly that, you know. So you're not waiting in vain, you know, like Bob Marley says.
There's a dream I feel so rare, so all the world in union, the world as one, gathering together, one mind, one heart, every creed, every color, one joy never apart, searching for the best in me. I will find what I can be. If I win, lose, or draw, there's a winner in us all. High mountains must face rough seas. We must take a place in history and live with dignity. Just to be the best I can. Search the gold for every man. If I win, lose, or draw, it's a victory for all. It's the world in union, the world as one, as we climb to reach our destiny. A new age has begun. It's the world in union. A new age has begun. Minded Imvula. Minded Imvula. COVID-19 yafala xa ndibona umnyango wempumelelo lafuna utyhafa ithemba kodwa ndaphinda ndazicenga ndazama ukubhala kodwa usiba lwam liyaxinga encwadini lixela ikuba lilima komhlaba owomileyo komile impumelelo ayikho ndiyehlela ndicela nje kwaqabaza le mvula ndizongena kufaliwe mayilethi mvula lomilo siba lwam mayilethi mvula mayilethi mvula mayilethi mvula mayilethi wandithatha wandibeka apha wathi suka apha uhlale apha wandithatha wandibeka apha wathi suka apha uhlale apha ndiyehlela 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 ndicela nje kwaqabaza le mvula ndizongena kufaliwe woyoyoyo woyowo yeyeyeyeyeyeyo ayinedele mvula yo ayinedele mvula ye mayinede mayinede yoyo woyoyo woyoyoyoyo woyoyo woyoyoyoyo woyoyo woyoyoyo mvula 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 letha mvula letha mvula letha domelelu siba lwam domelelu siba lwam letha mvula.
Another generous round of applause to the South Africa Youth Choir. Thank you to the South Africa Youth Choir. Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Veli Mpele from the Department of Science and Innovation, and I'm going to be your program director for this very brief but exciting program that we're going to be having here today. And we did all that we did, ladies and gentlemen, that you just saw, so as to give the program director the privilege to announce that we declare GEO Week 2023 officially open. We do that for a number of reasons, because a lot of work went into what we just saw, so as to make sure that we do it in the way that we have done. This week, ladies and gentlemen, it's about enhancing our understanding of the Earth and how we as policymakers, scientists, have to respond to some of the challenges that face our Earth. And the speakers that we have lined up would be giving us a variety of perspectives from the various organizations that they represent on how they think we should respond. And without any waste of time, I would like to call our speakers to the front, and in the following order, I would like to call the Director General of the Department of Science and Innovation to join us on the stage, Ubabu Jwaha. I would like to call the Deputy Mayor of the host city, Mr. Edwin Andrews. I would also like to invite to the stage Renee from Brendas, who's the director for the Net Geo Geographic Okavango. There he comes. I would also like to invite one of the most exciting items on the program, Sis Tobeka, who's going to be the representative for the youth. Sis Tobeka. I would also like to invite the director of the GEO Secretariat, Ms. Yana Giovan. I believe we have everybody here, right? And like we said, ladies and gentlemen, the program director is just here to give you the privilege of the perspectives that you will be receiving, right? So I'll just be facilitating. And without much waste of time, I would like to then invite the Deputy Mayor to come and just give us his address. Can we welcome the Deputy Mayor, Mr. Edwin Andrews?
Thank you, Mr. Program Director. I also want to recognize the choir and the song that they chose. For those who don't know, it's, the title of that particular song is called The World in Union. And I think if we look at why we are gathering here today, we could also argue most certainly is a world in union. And a union being an association of individual organizations to achieve a common outcome. And I want to quickly, before I actually welcome you warmly, just read a few lines of that song and for us to reflect on that for a particular moment. And it's in line with the conference theme, The Earth Talks. We face high mountains, must cross rough seas. We must take our place in history and live with dignity. Just be the best that you can be. Sets the goals for every man. Whether you win, lose, or draw, it's a victory for all mankind. It's the world in union, the world as one. As we climb to reach our destiny, a new age has begun. And so just thank you for the choir for choosing that song. And if you've been here this past weekend, as a country, we are still celebrating the fact that we've just won the Rugby World Cup. And of course, PJ, yes. And that song, of course, is a very important song as well. And it was sung on Friday by a very iconic artist, PJ Powers. So welcome to all the ministers representing the various organizations, the GEO Secretariat Directorate, Yana Jovengen, Vili Mabela, Master of Ceremonies, Deputy Director, Department of Science and Innovation, South Africa, Phil Njwara, Director General, Department of Science and Innovation, South Africa, Amina Muhammad, Deputy Secretary General, United Nations, Reinier van Brandes, Research Director, National Geographic Okavango Wilderness Project, Tobeka Zondi, of course, will give us some remarks from the youth perspective, as we heard early on, and all of you international, national, and local participants. Vamkilikili, welcome, welcome to Cape Town. You have now been greeted in all three of our official languages in the Western Cape. Nationally, we have a total of 12, and we're very proud of that. As the City of Cape Town, we are always very enthusiastic to welcome local, national, and international visitors to our beautiful city. You are all most welcome to enjoy every single thing that Cape Town has to offer, whether it be all of our 307 kilometers of our coastline, visiting any one of our 21 nature reserves, or any of our World Heritage sites, namely Robben Island or Table Mountain National Park, or visit Africa's most visited destination, the V&A waterfront, or interact with the most friendliest people in South Africa. Without a doubt, Cape Town is Cape Town because of our natural beauty and our diverse culture and rich heritage, which I hope that you will have time during your stay. Last year, I attended the International Union for the Conservation of Nature conference, and one of the speakers there was Ban Ki-moon. And he mentioned, and this remark stuck with me since then, and I quote, "We have a moment in time, but we don't have time." Close quote. Therefore, I agree, the earth is talking and it's time to listen. As a city of Cape Town, we are most certainly listening. Urban pressures is confronting us and we cannot turn a blind eye. Our sustainability as a global city is most certainly at risk. More than half, as most of us would appreciate in the room, more than half of the global population resides in cities. And this is so because cities offer improved healthcare, education, infrastructure, housing, and economic opportunities. In the city of Cape Town, we have 2/3 of the province residing in this city. Currently, we have 4.6 million people living in Cape Town, and very soon we will surpass the 5 million mark as we will remain the fastest growing city in the country. As a consequence of that migration to the city of Cape Town, we will without a doubt face additional urban pressures that has the potential to undermine Cape Town's sustainable future. At the beginning of our municipal term of office, it's incumbent on a municipality to draft and adopt an integrated development plan, its business plan for the term of office. And of course, the term of office would be 5 years. Understanding the lived realities of many of our residents and how dire the political situation is currently in South Africa, we set about drafting our business plan with a primary objective to create a city of hope for all. We want Cape Town to be living proof that a better life is possible for all, especially the least well off in South Africa. If only as leaders we apply ourselves diligently to the task of governing prudently in the interests of all of our citizens. I need to underscore the importance of our desire to govern prudently in the interests of all, because if not, we will remain complicit in perpetuating poverty on poverty. Also, the triple threat of poverty, inequality, and unemployment will without a doubt remain. We have also learned that if people's basic needs are not met, they struggle to think about the environment in a caring and a resilient way. Therefore, we have to grow our economy, get people into jobs and out of poverty over time, while educating our communities about the importance of caring for our environment. The City of Cape Town is also aligning itself to various global initiatives like the C40 to support our climate and water resilience strategies. This IDP contains the plans how we aim to build a resilient city through proactive and innovative thinking about climate, future potential disasters, and a more spatially integrated and inclusive city. We cannot do this if we don't have the correct geographically demarcated data available and, of course, that analyzed. The City of Cape Town, as we often remind ourselves that we are blessed to live here, is one of the most biodiverse cities in the world. We are indeed privileged to be one of the 6 global floristic regions, namely the Cape Floristic region. We have an entire department within our government mandated to preserve and protect our fauna and flora. Last week, our local council approved 6 new nature reserves to be promulgated and the extension of 9 existing nature reserves. We see the environment as an asset, and over the next 2 to 3 years, we will be spending about 1.2 billion rand to invest in that ecological asset. Our nature reserves has also education officers on site working with local communities to run educational programs. These programs are very popular and important as we promote a symbiotic relationship between nature and people. These programs include search and rescue of plants, protecting indigenous plants, building relationships with surrounding communities, and running educational programs on the reserves. Within our nature reserves, we also have various advocacy groups holding government accountable for the decisions pertaining to the environment. These are called Protected Area Advisory Committees, or commonly known as parks, working together with our park rangers, made up of various professionals, providing insights into various challenges. Our nature reserves has also become a space of building buildings, which reduces our carbon footprint, which is also, as we would call, our EEC centers, our Environment Education Centers. We have one at the Helderberg Nature Reserve, and within the next 18 months, we will have the first City of Cape Town net zero building at Bracken Nature Reserves. The plans to this building has earned a 5-star Green Building Council of South Africa rating. I would also like to mention that because we are a coastal city, we have to protect our coastal line from various climate challenges. We are currently in various stages of dune rehabilitation projects and a GEO container revetment program out in the Atlantic coast. The recent storms on the 24 September weekend again prove that we have put the measures in place to protect our coastline and our infrastructure. Why am I telling you this? Because in Cape Town, we are listening to the earth. Because this geospace is an important one to further enhance our efforts and the efforts of all regions across the world. Well done to the Department of Science and Innovation for hosting this important engagement here in Cape Town. Because here in Cape Town, as many of us know, we are surrounded by waterways. One of our main rivers is the Deep River, starting at the west coast and running through the south of Cape Town. This water body is extremely important to us. Over the last few years, we now have realized that we need to address the root causes of these issues of pollution. This has resulted in the river and many others in Cape Town being polluted. This government has also mobilized and looked holistically at our waterways. We need to clean it and then keep it clean. We have to upgrade various infrastructure systems around it to support the rapid migration to Cape Town. We have to educate Cape Town and visitors about the benefits of clean and healthy waterways, and we have to incentivize behavioral change to keep our rivers and waters clean. The task has not been easy. However, with decisive leadership and a competent administration and a committed budget, we have made positive inroads. Cape Town, and indeed Africa, stands to gain from a wealth of knowledge present and the ongoing research which will hopefully move us forward together as a continent and a globe. Cape Town is ever willing and ready to host events of this magnitude. Therefore, to the event organizers, you are most welcome to again convene your conference here in the mother city. We have a beautiful city and beautiful people who are committed to making this country and our city a better place. I trust that you are now all very warmly welcomed and wish you all the best as you network and collaborate in discussion to create new ideas and grow our knowledge base to provide sustainable solutions that will help our continent to be secure and climate conscious. We are looking to engage, network, discuss, and learn from all of you present over the next few days from your different areas of expertise. I wish you everything of the best in your deliberations, your site visits, and may your stay in Cape Town be peaceful, enjoyable, and a memorable one. May the outcomes of this conference not only be remembered as a legacy-building ones for various stakeholders and sister organizations, but more importantly, recognizing that the levers of sustainable change lie within cities as we respond to the urban pressures we constantly face. I would like to again conclude by reflecting on the remark Ban Ki-moon made at the conference. We have a moment in time, but we don't have time. Thank you.
Thank you, Deputy Mayor Andrews, for that very comprehensive and very warm welcome. And the Deputy Mayor has asked to just gently leave the room, so he has been granted permission, I suppose. to leave the room. So without much ado, I would like to invite the Director General of the Department of Science and Innovation, Dr. Phil Mjwaha, to come and deliver his remarks. May we welcome him with a round of applause.
Thank you very much, Program Director. But I see there are a number of participants standing at the back, and we would invite them. There's a lot of space and they're sitting on the right-hand side, so please feel free to move to the right-hand side. So Eddie, who has just left, the Deputy Mayor of Cape Town, grateful for his welcoming remarks. And then, of course, Amina Mohammed, the Deputy Secretary General of the United Nations, I think will be speaking to us later through a video. Reina von Brandis, Research Director, National Geographic Okavango Wilderness Project. The GEO co-chairs from China, Europe, US, and South Africa. Yana, the GEO Secretariat Director, old friend. Head of delegates of GEO member states, representatives of participating and associated organizations, delegates, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen. South Africa is very proud and honored to host the 2023 GEO Week and the Ministerial Summit. We are equally pleased that you all managed to join us here in South Africa. As some of you may be aware, this is the second time that as South Africa we are hosting this prestigious event. When we hosted it in 2007, there was a mere 1,300 registrations, but I've been told that this time the number has almost doubled. So congratulations to yourselves as GEO. You would also recall that GEO is an outcome of the 2002 World Summit on Sustainable Development in Johannesburg. And the summit highlighted the need for coordinated Earth observations to support evidence-based policy and decision-making. As a country, our participation in GEO is informed by a number of factors. The first one is an obvious one, being the proud member of the founding members of GEO. Secondly, we also participate in GEO as South Africa because we share in the view that there is an increasing need for the deliberate application of science towards solving some of the most urgent challenges faced by humanity. That's not always the case where science is put at the center of decision-making. Our participation is therefore also informed by the belief that science must inform public policy. And in this connection, we strongly believe in a public policy approach that is informed by scientific evidence. And to this effect, we are delighted that as South Africa we've been called upon to contribute to the commission set up by the President called the Presidential Commission on Climate Change to inform decision-making in South Africa. As a country, we recently experienced some of the worst floods in our history, which left hundreds of people destitute. Our national response was bolstered by the support we received from GEO partners, who at the time quickly provided satellite data to monitor progress of floods and therefore saving lives of many in flooded areas, for which, of course, we are deeply grateful to all of you. Now we've then been given the responsibility as a Department of Science and Innovation to plan for climate-resilient cities. We also realize that what we are experiencing in South Africa is part of a global phenomenon. We are too familiar with the disasters that are ravaging every corner of our planet, whether it's fires in Australia, quakes in Turkey that we recently saw, droughts in East Africa, and hurricanes in the United States of America. All of these call for a coordinated response and we think GEO is well positioned to coordinate this global response. We therefore see the value of participating in GEO because regardless of their economic status or geographical locations, countries can seamlessly and timeously access data and tools that will enable them to respond to disasters, save lives, and protect infrastructure. As a country, we are also proud to be the chair of the Africa Group on Earth Observation, AfriGEO, and our national coordination mechanism, the South African Group on Earth Observation, SAGEO, is participating in a number of regional initiatives. Some of these benefits include the GEO Land Degradation Neutrality Project, the African Agricultural Systems with the support of Remote Sensing Project funded by the European Commission. Towards this end, the Africa Group on Earth Observation that is hosted by the Regional Center for Mapping of the Environment continues to bring African countries closer to the work of GEO. It also pleases us to see the growing representation of African countries in GEO. Not only has African representation grown, but we are also seeing, courtesy of AfriGEO, the active participation of these countries in GEO tasks. Equally exciting is the emergence of young Africa Earth Observations entrepreneurs. I suspect you'll hear one of them this morning. As the South African government, of course, we continue to invest in GEO, and some of the investments that I would like to share with you include Agriculture and Food Security South Africa, in collaboration with the Council for Scientific and Industrial Research, CSIR, and the Agricultural Research Council, ARC, have developed the Precision Agriculture Information System, providing real-time information on soil and crop conditions to farmers. 2, the SAMNET project, funded by the Department of Science and Innovation and implemented by the South African Weather Service, that contributes to the Global Observation Systems for Mercury, which is a GEO flagship project. We also support the Abiri Technology Small-Medium Enterprise, which uses drones equipped with advanced cameras to map rural and peri-urban areas and then converts these images into digital maps and track livestock in rural areas using GIS technologies. Of course, we have a number of public institutions that will be participating in the GeoWork program, and these, of course, include South African National Space Agency, SANSA, the South African Weather Services, the South African Earth Observation Network, Council for Scientific and Industrial Research, the South African Air Force, and the Council for Geosciences. GEO continues to be the leading and unique Earth observations platform globally, and a means of connecting us all with the sole purpose of integrating observing systems, but also to connect member countries to existing infrastructure and sharing of data and information with a view to produce innovative and sustainable solutions to global challenges. So, as we make the transition towards the GEO new strategic vision, we cannot overstate the value of data and information. Therefore, our global efforts will have greater meaning if they enable us to respond more effectively to the environmental challenges of our various countries and regions of the world, and therefore responding to the theme, the Earth Talks. It is for this reason that it pleasures us to note that GEO has made significant strides since the commitments made 4 years ago in Canberra, in Australia, to formalize regional groups as a critical component of GEO to link global efforts to local level. In conclusion, the 2023 GEO Weekend Ministerial Summit comes hardly a month after we have hosted a youth session in October this year. This session marked a significant milestone towards the development of the Youth Declaration, which will be adopted hopefully at the end of this week. As we endeavor to transition towards the new GEO vision, Let us continue to consider the considerable progress that we have made, the numerous lessons that we have learned, and the opportunities for a better, stronger, and more inclusive GEO. I think I will not be doing my job if I don't invite you that whilst you're here, we really invite you to enjoy the rich heritage and culture that is part of our country that has to offer. So we hope that at the end of the week, we're likely to see some of you here next week, and you're most welcome to stay here for another week. But for now, I wish you fruitful deliberations and a pleasant stay in South Africa. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Dr. Mjwaha, Director General of the Department of Science and Innovation. Before we go into our next remarks, if you wish to connect to the Wi-Fi, right, the network is GEO 2023, GEO 2023, and the password is South Africa 2023, capital letter S and capital letter A. The password is South Africa 2023, capital letter S and capital letter A, right? The next message we are going to get is a video message that we are going to get from Amina Mohammed, Deputy Secretary of the United Nations, who because of other responsibilities could not join us, but was kind enough to convey her message via video. If the technical team could kindly assist and make sure that we have the video.
Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, I send my warmest greetings to the Earth observation community gathered in Cape Town as you meet to renew GEO's mission and mandate. They say you can't manage what you can't measure. To protect our planet, we need the measuring and the monitoring capabilities that only Earth observations can provide. Geospatial technologies are key enablers to achieving the 2030 Agenda, the Paris Agreement, and the Sendai Framework on Disaster Risk Reduction. They are essential to fight the triple planetary crisis of climate change, biodiversity loss, and pollution. GEO has already managed to make huge amounts of data available on these challenges. But data by itself just isn't enough. Data should lead to action. We need to transform data into information that everyone can access, understand, and use. Too often, I've seen situations where conservation rather than production would have made better economics, where smart investment in urban areas could have increased resilience against extreme events and saved lives and livelihoods. Data can drive these decisions. I commend the GEO community for its commitment to providing information that makes a difference. GEO's work can increase food security, enhance climate adaptation, and protect lives from floods and extreme heat. In the face of today's complex, multifaceted global challenges, I encourage the GEO community to scale up solutions, expand existing programs, and develop new initiatives to unlock transformative action on the ground. GEO can provide significant contributions to advance our initiative to make sure everyone on Earth is protected by an early warning system by the end of 2027. This is not only a scientific endeavor, it is a question of equity and justice. The people most affected by the triple planetary crisis are the least likely to have access to quality information. I encourage you to forge a more inclusive GEO that focuses on the most vulnerable, who are the farthest behind. GEO cannot do this alone, and the United Nations will continue to work with GEO in the pursuit of Earth intelligence. I wish you all a productive week.
Super stuff. Another round of applause for that very, very, very sober message. I had to do that, DG and Diana. It is not always if you're a program director and you give a request to the technical team that we get a video message and it happens as seamlessly as that. Doesn't always happen. So big ups, a round of applause to our technical team. Our next set of remarks is going to come from Renee von Bredes, Research Director, National Geographic Okavango Wilderness Project. May we invite him to the podium with a round of applause.
Good morning. My name is Rainer. I spend most of my time on expedition for National Geographic, paddling down remote African rivers and collecting the kind of open source data that GEO ingests. When I come back to town, I trim my beard and go about promoting sound conservation activities in these regions. So this is a great opportunity for me and a privilege. So I thank GEO, thank you very much for this opportunity. The Wildbird Trust are a team of explorers and conservationists working throughout the Okavango Basin with a simple aim of preserving the life-giving waters of the Okavango. We are a South African-based non-for-profit organization with offices in Angola, Botswana, and Namibia, the three riparian states of the basin. You may know National Geographic for the TV productions and the magazines with these beautiful pull-out maps that I've always been infatuated with since a child. This is a pull-out map that featured our project back in 2017. But Nat Geo has a non-profit arm called the National Geographic Society, which has a mission to illuminate and protect the wonders of the world. In 2014, the Wildbird Trust entered into a partnership with the Society to found the National Geographic Okavango Wilderness Project with the aim to explore and survey the least known and most inaccessible parts of the river basin. In the mid-2000s, our project founder, Dr. Steve Boys, was developing a deep passion for the Okavango Delta. The delta lies in northern Botswana, in the middle of the Kalahari Desert, that is home to the largest remaining population of elephants in Africa. Thank you. And iconic wildlife like lions, leopards, hyenas, wild dogs, cheetahs, lots and lots of hippos, giraffes, and of course, some of the most ancient cultures on our planet. Thank you for that. Steve was working in a lodge as a housekeeper and soon started exploring the delta in a traditional dugout canoe. It's called a mokoro, which he found abandoned in the papyrus. By 2009, he had gone on his first full crossing of the delta. It takes several weeks on his mokoro with the help of his friends, the indigenous Waiei people that live there, pictured here. He soon realized that the future of the Okavango Delta and its people relies on its source waters much further up north in Angola. In fact, 95% of the delta's water comes out of Angola, out of a very unknown region in central Angola. So in 2015, we began visiting these headwaters with the help of friendly locals from a few scattered villages that still existed up there, and began paddling these rivers and walking the forest to systematically explore and scientifically document this forgotten land. It wasn't easy. It comes with difficulties up there. Nobody from the outside had accessed this area since the Civil War, and traveling was difficult. And 3 years of dodging landmines and flesh-eating bacteria and lots of grumpy hippos, we remained dedicated to our mission. And now in 2003, we've conducted over 22 expeditions covering more than 15,000 kilometers by mokoro alone. The headwaters of Okavango sit on a raised Kalahari sandbed that is blanketed by Africa's largest uninterrupted Miombo forest. The area is interspersed with crystal clear rivers and 11 source lakes that are surrounded by Africa's second biggest peat formations. The biodiversity is intact. Everything is there, albeit in low numbers. And a small population of incredible people live there that live in complete harmony with nature. Importantly, we also discovered that this place is a water tower, delivering incredible quantities of water to the SADC region. Water towers in this context are high altitude, high rainfall, forested watersheds with high water storage capacity due to the peatlands and absorptive soils. A staggering 423 cubic kilometers of water is generated up here annually, flowing across 7 countries. That is an equivalent to more than 10 times the total annual water consumption of the state of California. This water secures the future of almost 2/3 of Africa's remaining elephants. It maintains important landmarks such as Mosi Otonia, the Victoria Falls on the Zambezi, and importantly provides water and food security for tens of millions of people downstream.
In Africa's arid regions, highland water towers play an important role in storing and providing fresh water which sustains life downstream. The Okavango Delta, a UNESCO World Heritage Site in Botswana, lies in the semi-arid Kalahari Desert, but its source is hundreds of kilometers away in the Angolan highlands. Angola's landscape is dominated by the highlands of the BA Plateau. Its rainy season lasts from September to April, with its heaviest rainfall in the north and on the cooler central plateau. The highlands supply water to 11 river subbasins, 8 of them transboundary, including source waters of the Congo and the Zambezi, and the key tributaries of the Okavango, the Quito and Kubangu rivers. These islands are an important regional water tower despite the absence of snow cover. The area lacked a defined boundary, which hindered conservation efforts. For that reason, the National Geographic Okavango Wilderness Project identified the Angolan Highlands Water Tower as an area of the BA Plateau above 1,274 meters. Annually, this water tower supplies an average of 423 cubic kilometers of water. However, the contribution to each subbasin varies. The Okavango's catchment is shared by Angola, Namibia, and Botswana. It's estimated that over 95% of the water that flows into the Okavango Delta via the Quito and Kubangu rivers falls as rain in the Angolan highlands. This crucial rainfall accumulates in source lakes and extensive peatlands in a highland region known locally as the Zima Lia Mowono, meaning the source of life. In spite of their overlapping rainy seasons and adjacent headwaters, the water reaches the delta from these 2 rivers at different rates. The longer Kubangu runs a steeper, faster path over compacted soils and feeds the first Okavango flood pulse between January and March. Meanwhile, the meandering Quito seeps through extensive spongy peatlands and feeds the second surge in April and May, then sustains the delta through the dry season. The extent of flooding in the Okavango appears strongly correlated to the amount of early rainfall. The water tower's wettest year on record, 2011, led to the largest known inundation, while the 2019 drought produced the smallest recorded flood area. Defining the Angolan Highlands Water Tower and quantifying its contributions to rivers downstream will help with the conservation of this critical freshwater resource.
So now that we've defined the boundaries of the water tower, we need to protect it in partnership with the communities. And to do that, we need earth intelligence that's easy to understand, co-produced with communities, easily accessible, and able to contribute to sound decision-making. This is Ifaf. He's a good friend of mine. We found him up there in 2015. He's lived there his whole life. He's Chokwe, from the Chokwe tribe. Him and his family have lived there even during the Civil War. He used to be a bushmeat hunter, but now he collects Earth observations as a larger team by setting out camera traps across the landscape. New technologies and innovations are a key part of Earth observations. We use camera traps, eDNA, water quality sondes, permanent hydrometeorological monitoring stations, acoustic Doppler current profilers, and many other things that have resulted in 52 peer-reviewed publications so far. We also overlaid our Earth observations along with other existing data layers on a 25-centimeter resolution vegetation map that we had commissioned to build a data cube that feeds into conservation planning software such as Marksan, allowing us to plan protected areas and inform climate change adaptation. But modern technology must work hand in hand with traditional knowledge. Anytime we've documented a new source lake or identified a new species, it was because of local community members and their traditional knowledge, their languages and their customs. Meanwhile, our teams across the basin are producing award-winning films, podcasts, we're running education programs, coming up with a community-led system of protection in Lusima, in the Angolan highlands, refurbishing schools and clinics, airstrips, bridges, and supporting sustainable livelihoods and local enterprise development. We must celebrate the people who decided to stay in these challenging places when everyone else left. We must work with them to chart the future. People, their languages, cultures, and traditions are an integral part of all ecosystems. And during this inspiring week at GEO, I urge you to think about how we can co-produce innovative Earth observations that incorporate traditional knowledge and culture. Because with this data, we will be better placed to come up with conservation solutions that benefit both people and the ecosystems that they so rely on. Thank you.
Thank you, Rainer, for that very educative presentation. And we come probably to the more exciting part of the program now. Of course, the other presentations were exciting as well, you know, relatively speaking. I am informed, ladies and gentlemen, that one of the highlights of this year's GEO is that for the first time, as part of the youth component, there's going to be a youth declaration, right, that's going to form part of this program. And we have today the pleasure of having Sis Tobeka Zondi, who's going to be the representative of the youth component. And she's going to be sharing what the program director describes as the most exciting part of the program. And can we usher her to the podium with a very youthful round of applause, Sis Tobeka.
Thank you, Program Director Ubabveli, for that exciting introduction. And thank you for the opportunity provided by DSI, SANSA, SATSTA, GEO Secretariat to be part of this GEO Week and Summit. A special greeting to our Director General, our Deputy Director General, and GEO Secretariat Leader, and all of our distinguished guests gathered here today. As you know, that we will be presenting the first ever GEO Youth Declaration on Friday. And I'm not here to tell you what is in the declaration, but I'm here to tell you about what it took to do the declaration. And I'm sure you might be expecting me to say that it took countless of months to do negotiations of drafting the declaration. However, that this is not the case. When the right platform is provided, youth can act really, really fast. And the reason why is because we know what our challenges are, and we are currently facing those challenges, and they are right in front of us. When we met in Cape Town a month ago, the town had been just hit by severe flooding, which is a clear sign that climate change is happening and our climate is changing. And we have witnessed many of the things that prevent action, such as a lack of ownership, a lack of funding, and a lack of youth and community engagement. However, we also have solutions for these. Young people can play a crucial role in the response of climate change and other global challenges. Their energy, their passion, and fresh perspectives bring new ideas and innovative approaches to the table. Within South Africa and around the world, young youth are already contributing towards holistic solutions that address both environmental and societal issues. The youth are often at the forefront of raising awareness about climate change. They can use their voice, their creativity, and social media presence to educate their peers and the wider public about the urgency of the issue. Collaboration between generations is essential for addressing complex challenges. Young people can collaborate with experienced professionals to leverage their knowledge and mentorship while infusing new ideas and approaches. It is high time for governments, corporations, and institutions to acknowledge the urgency of climate change. We've noticed that protest action, demonstrations, and campaigns have already proven their effectiveness in capturing the world's attention and instigating policy changes. Our actions have echoed across the globe, and we are no longer merely leaders of tomorrow. However, we are leaders of today. As young people, we firmly stand behind GEO's post-2025 strategy, and we adherently support the inclusion of youth engagement as one of its 5 crucial goals. However, one must mention that we do stand at crossroads. When we were having our workshop last month, the question that kept arising was, so what? What happens after the speech? What happens after the declaration is signed? It is not just enough for youth engagement to become a mere checkmark on a to-do list of global initiatives. We demand for more. Engagement should be an ongoing conversation, not just on strategy, but on its tangible implementation. We must not be sidelined, but rather we should have properly funded and well-organized platforms where we'll be able to share and our voices can be heard. We, the youth, stand united in our call. We say, approve your strategy, but thereafter follow our lead and act with unprecedented speed. Fast implementation and a sincere, meaningful engagement with young people are the need for this very hour. I would like to read a quote. It says, "The earth does not belong to us, we belong to the earth. It is our duty to protect it and nurture it for generations to come." Thank you very much, and I wish you all a very productive and impactful week. Together, let us pave a way to a more sustainable and resilient world. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Sis Tobek. I suppose, DJ, you would agree that in the South African context, to be youthful also means to have content, right? And that's exactly what Sis Tobek had demonstrated, that it's not just about, the fluff of being youthful. Content is quite key. And she's a good example of what that represents. Can we give her another thunderous round of applause? We are now going to get our last speaker on the program, who's part of the GEO Secretariat, the director, Biana. She's going to give us some kind of an overview and also perhaps point us in the direction of some of the things that we have lined up for the week, right? And without wasting much time, it's now my honor and privilege to invite Yana to come and conclude the speakers program for us.
Where are all my middle-aged people at, huh? Come on. Good morning, everybody. It's so nice to have you here in Cape Town. What an amazing energy this event kicked off with, right? That energy, we, the young, the middle-aged, young at heart, all of us have to sustain for a whole week. Can we do it? There we go. I mean, that left wing is kind of, I'm not so sure about that. Can we do it? Look, we are here to talk about important things, and I think the security level reflects the seriousness of our business here. I'm glad you all went through, are here joining us for an important conversation as we really tune our hearing into what the earth has to say to us, because the earth is talking, and this group has been listening intently to what the earth has to say for decades, using all kinds of tools, observing systems, and trying to translate that whisper into a loud message to be delivered to policymakers. We, with the Group on Earth Observations, coordinate global partnership, global interaction and collaboration in order to enable solutions which are inherently local. And it is so fitting for us to be meeting here in the city of Cape Town. I will make a public confession. I have a love affair with this city. I don't know if she loves me back, but I love it dearly. And not just for its beauty, but this city really walks the talk. Do you know that there are on Earth 6 floral kingdoms? I mean, what a beautiful concept, floral kingdom. And in the western south part of Africa is the smallest floral kingdom, West Cape Floral Kingdom. Cape Town is in the heart of this kingdom with the most dense biodiversity, 9,000 floral species. Many of them exist only in Cape Town. And the city of Cape Town has put this biodiversity, has integrated this biodiversity into its Western Cape Biodiversity Spatial Plan. It treats it, as Deputy Mayor said, as an asset. We in GEO spent a lot of this year talking about biodiversity, and so it's therefore very fitting to be here and be inspired by the practices of the city of Cape Town to put nature and the focus of their nature-based policies, nature-smart policies. City of Cape Town is also walking the talk in preparing its community to face climate change, be climate resilient, and especially in the context of extreme heat. In the northern hemisphere, all of us experienced the hottest summer on Earth this year. Our summer was the warmest winter in the southern hemisphere. City of Cape Town has put in place a heat health action plan that will be protecting its public from the increasing extreme heat events. They've mapped their urban heat island effects. They've put in place interventions that leverage local communities' participation in order to put in place processes and procedures to address this public health risk in the long term. And it's also very fitting that within this week, we will be speaking about extending similar capabilities through a global heat resilience service to every urban area in the world. So you see why us gathering in Cape Town is really a very right time, in the right context, in the right conversation that we're having. You are here to launch a new vision, new strategy for GEO, the kind of strategy that builds on 18 years of work. South Africa has hosted a ministerial summit in 2007 that was seminal at the time, and therefore I'm so delighted to have the government of South Africa host this ministerial summit that will also be seminal, I promise, because we will usher Earth intelligence as a new concept that will go beyond our original promise of just delivering data to everyone. But now we'll be focusing on delivering that refined information, insights, and intelligence to everyone. GEO's old friend, old only because in terms of how long you've been the friend, always youthful and always young at heart, Phil Mujwara, has been there from the start. It's really a pleasure to see you and to have you with us kicking off this week. And hearing all of the speakers, I take a lot of assurance and confidence in the kind of strategy that we've put together, the strategy that calls for intergenerational approaches. I hear you, Dr. Zondi. Good speeches, good words on paper indeed is not enough. We've put together a strategy that calls for close relationship with the local communities and integration of traditional knowledge with modern observation systems and modern data. You all here have created a new chapter. It reads nice. Have you read the strategy? You better have read the strategy. It's a good one. But what will follow is an implementation plan for that strategy, that big, important I. And I hope this week you get to think about what will be key to the implementation of that strategy. We have a few days to be together to put the seeds of that implementation plan for the strategy into the ground, and let the ministers know that we have a way forward. I encourage you to connect, to network during the side events that will kick off right after this, flash talks, workshops, translating what we hear the Earth say to us into insights and actionable information, and then gather again for 2 days of important business in the plenary, and all of this shall culminate with the ministerial summit, where we hope the ministers will give a ringing endorsement to our new vision, and we'll be on our way to do the hard work of implementing that which we've promised as intelligence for all. Thank you everyone for being here. Thank you to the government of South Africa, to DSI, to this wonderful city of Cape Town, and all of the community here. And Veli, thanks for leading us in this opening session.
Thank you so much, Yana. Another first, it's not common, that the program director gets priority acknowledgement in the way that you have done, setting another trend. So again, thank you so much for that. Thank you so much for that. Yes. So what Diana essentially did was to show you, the size of the task that lies ahead for this week and how important it is and how your contribution is going to be critical to making sure that some of the things that she was highlighting do get achieved, right? And in that way, ladies and gentlemen, that concludes the opening ceremony, and in particular the speakers program. And at this stage, I would like to take this opportunity to express our sincere gratitude to the City of Cape Town in the form of the Deputy Mayor, Mr. Andrews, who had to leave us. A round of applause to him. To the Director General of the Department of Science and Innovation, Dr. Mjwara. To the Deputy Secretary of the United Nations, Amina Mohammed, for a beautiful message. To the Research Director at the Net GEO Okavango Wilderness Project, Rainer van Brenders. And of course, the youthful and content-filled Sis Tobeka, Zondi for her presentation as well. And to each and every one of you who's here who made this morning very meaningful, and the team that worked behind the scenes to make everybody and all of us here to be able to do our work. Thank you to them as well. I'm also told to remind you that there's going to be flash talks and workshops just immediately after this. You are invited to take a brief break, and I'm told the flash talks begin at 11:15, which is very 11:30. 11:30. Thank you so much. At 11:30. Okay. They've changed it now. It's 11:30. Right, 11:30. And you are also invited to make sure that in between the workshops and the flash talks, you also get to see the exhibitions. Right. It's important that you do that. Thank you so much, ladies and gentlemen. That concludes our program.